All right.
Welcome back, everybody. 5 till midnight. Once again, we are always here 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Mondays. And I was going to ask a question right before we went live. We got an interesting thumbnail of a tweet of mine that's kind of blowing up a little bit, but I wasn't sure if we wanted to talk about that or if we were just going to get on and talk crap for a few minutes.
Let's talk about it, dude.
Well, Sam's mic
Brought it
very,
up.
very professional,
Yeah.
very
Let's
good
talk about
producer.
tweets. I love Twitter. Shut up, Adam.
All right, let me.
Amazing producer.
Don't pull it up just yet because I'm gonna have to scroll down to it. Oh no, I'm in my DMs now. Definitely don't go to that. You'll see some weird stuff in there. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Like chicks covered in like beans.
No, in cereal.
Oh, that's what that was.
All right. Oh, did that dude block me? Did I get blocked by somebody? I probably did. Let me see.
I recently
No, I
just bought a box of Cookie Crisp, and I'm just saying that shit rules.
Dude, Cookie Crisp is amazing.
Yeah.
So you know what I want? I'm gonna have to start like Cookie Crisp without protein powder. I feel like it'd be really good. Cookies and cream, protein powder, and Cookie Crisp.
Yeah, dude, that rips.
Yeah.
I'm just eating it by the handful like a fat kid, but yeah.
All right. So I'm good whenever you guys are. Go ahead. Hit the screen up here. All right, so I definitely wouldn't say this tweet's going viral, but for my 3,000 follower account, which this tweet did give me a lot of followers, it's gone pretty well. I want to say we're pretty close to 50,000 views. Okay, yeah, 48,000. So I kind of made this actually sort of as a throwaway tweet last night because I was listening to Tim Pool argue with a friend of mine, Liam Cosgrove, on his show about Israeli influence in our political system. So, and he says that people who bring up Israeli influence in American politics have Israel-Palestine derangement syndrome, which is just mind-boggling to me. And I know Typo, you had some comments on this too, so I'll just read this real quick and we can kind of just cut it up on it a little bit. So I tweeted out, I said Israel derangement syndrome, and I kind of put after that, anyone who wants to have a serious conversation about Israel's influence in the US. Trump derangement syndrome, anyone who wants to have a serious conversation about Trump promoting the vaccine and the COVID regime in 2020. At a certain point, maybe people should ask if it's worth considering Tim an ally when in reality, he talks down to all his libertarian guests and rolls out the red carpet for neocons and people who'd be glad to see you die for Taiwan and Israel. But we can't talk about that. Guess it's just X derangement syndrome, according to Tim, which, if people didn't kind of get the hint from the beginning, that's basically my perspective how Tim defines Israel or Trump derangement syndrome. And I said, shame, prior to 2020, he was a good journalist and I really liked him. Now he's a coked up hack who's probably bankrolled by someone worse. And I shared a picture of him without his beanie on. I don't know if it was Photoshop, but it's a funny picture no matter what. And then somebody always shared this meme with me, and I just thought it was hilarious of Tim's big brain underneath the beanie. So it for me, 48,000 views on a tweet is pretty damn good. 81 replies, 824 likes, 40 bookmarks. Geez, apparently a lot of people bookmarked that. And then like 6 quote tweets, and I have Tim blocked, so I hope like someone comments on it and he sees it and then is realize that he's blocked because I absolutely hate him and I can't stand having him across my newsfeed because I'll constantly put out tweets like this. So basically my problem with Tim Pool is that he omits everything bad about Trump and tells people that everything's great about Trump. And like he'll say, oh yeah, well, everything's bad Obama does. And he's not entirely wrong, but he lies about a lot. And there's nothing I cannot stand more than dishonest people. And then on top of that, to downplay the influence that Israel has on the US, it's just mind-boggling to me. Like, we're not having an honest conversation if you're saying that, like, oh, well, what about he was bringing up all these other countries that just like are not relevant to US foreign policy at all. Like, yeah, we pay some of these countries, but like if you're not willing to have a serious conversation about how much money we send to Israel and the undue influence that APAC has on our government, then we're just not even in the same realm. And once again, we're not engaging in a serious dialogue if you're not willing to acknowledge that. So it honestly kind of leads me to believe, is he being paid by the RNC? I could absolutely believe it. I could 100% believe that he's getting paid by the RNC because he has all these, Republican congressmen on and all these other people who are high up in the Republican side of the government. and he doesn't ever say anything bad about them and is always willing to roll out the red carpet for them. So I'm sorry to go on a huge monologue there, but that's kind of where my mind is on Tim Pool. I used to love him, but he drives me absolutely batshit insane now. So yeah, sorry, guys. Go ahead.
I just want to pat myself
You're
in the back.
anti-Semitic.
I've been calling Tim Pool gay for a while because he's gay.
I'm glad you can follow up with that because that's a very reasonable perspective.
Because yeah, but like for real, like I always like this guy's a fucking tool. Like why does many people like genuinely like him? I don't understand. And yeah,
Right.
I don't find anything like he gets like in that tough talk thing. I'm like, dude, you're 4'2", shut up. Like, stop talking tough into a camera. Stop also cutting people off. Like, you'll fucking. A lot of this is more about I hate him as a man, and I hate that he tries to act tough, and that's just more of where I'm coming from. I hate him.
I kind of wish RA the Rugged Man would have slapped the shit out of him. Did you guys ever see that clip?
Yeah.
No,
I did.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll see if I could pull it up. But
also, he makes shitty emo music that's like 20 years too late.
You know what? I really think what he should do is get rid of his band, like disband it, never sing again, and then sign my band up to be on his record label and just promote the shit out of us because we're way better.
I mean, it's not even close. It's not even close.
Exactly.
Dude, he put out that music video, and it was like, this looks like it's from 2003. Like, it looks like from high school for me. From like, like an emo band, from like being like, like I'm so fucking sad, and like in the living room, like the couches in the background. That's what it was. It was so fucking bad. And people were like, "This is good." I'm like, "No, it's not. It's objectively bad. It's not even subjective. This is objectively bad."
Yeah,
Dude,
and Tim Pool is also one of those guys that like he used to be on the left. He's like, I didn't leave the left.
The left left me.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that's like he's pretty much a liberal at heart, and I mean, I think like I don't know. He claims a lot of his views are, I guess, more libertarian-ish, but like liberal economics in a lot of ways.
It's not. Okay, so all right, this is the video. I'll see if this got it at a pertinent.
I know who RA is. I just
well,
saw the clip.
This clip is so funny.
Is it gonna make me angry at Tim? Is it making me more mad at Tim Pool?
No. You'll like RA the Rugged Man.
No. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna make me more. It's gonna make me angrier at Tim Pool this video. Like I'm gonna hate him more after watching this. Is what I'm saying.
Maybe. It's pretty funny.
It's effectively two leftists arguing with each other.
Oh, so yes.
Is it
Can Sam pull it up?
Yeah.
What? I'm not.
Can you
Sam,
pull up this video?
Yeah.
A Stanford guy he has to produce. He's too busy fucking
I don't have
eating
to pull
food.
up shit. Pulling up shit is not producing. Anybody can pull up something. I'm not going to sit here and try to figure out what video you're talking about. Get the wrong
It's
video.
on. I can't pull it up because it just says remove. It just says remove for me. So Kyle, you might have to do it.
Don't mention a clip until you already got it ready to be pulled up.
No, it is ready to be pulled up.
No, I'm talking to Adam. Don't.
I didn't pull Sam. I will strangle you in your bathtub because you take baths
Do it.
probably like a fucking
Do it.
gay boy.
Do it.
Hold
I got
on.
ice
Let
cream.
me
Well,
like
I'm
the.
pretty-
I got ice cream. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Try pulling it up now.
I got
All
it.
right.
Good.
I'm aware of both of these guys. It's really, I should say, we'll consider technique.
Oh, is this
you
a?
It's going to be right there.
Two of
that
these
home.
met last night and class.
is he really not
obviously
gonna-
on their ideas?
Oh, this is like a review.
I hear him.
Through, and you have the nerve to come up to me
here
and
we
tell
go.
me my
Okay,
experiences
yeah, okay.
don't matter
Well,
when
here's the
I'm
thing.
fighting
Stop
the fight.
screaming, bitch. Stop screaming. First of all, talk to me like
Hold on.
because I'm not that guy.
Yeah,
Talk
you are.
normal.
You
I'm not
are.
that
You
guy.
actually are, dude. You are that
No,
guy.
I'm talking about. I'm not that guy. To fucking scream at, bitch. You want to fuck up? Huh?
All right,
Who the fuck you screaming at, bitch?
let's calm down.
Gotta cut it, man.
You think you
I'm
can?
talking. I'm not that guy. You don't disrespect me, bitch.
What did you do to me?
Yeah.
Did you disrespect me?
Nah, you start raising
Did
your
you-
voice to me like I'm some sucker.
Did
I'm
you
not a
laugh at
sucker,
me?
bitch. Yeah, laugh.
You disrespect me? I was nice to you, bro. I was being nice.
You start raising your voice to me like I'm your son, bitch.
You raise
I'm
your
not
voice
gonna
to
deal
me?
with that.
Bro, I
I
said
raise my
Yes.
voice
I
to
respected
nobody.
you.
You wouldn't shut
I
the fuck up with
appreciated
that
you.
raising your voice shit.
I stopped when you told me to.
Yeah, you know.
You said lower your voice, so I lowered my voice. I told you I respected you. Come.
Yeah, that's just
That
like-
clip went viral like a year or
That's
two. Oh my
so
god.
funny, dude.
I don't
He's
remember
such a
that at all.
bitch.
I'm not that guy.
I mean, he's a bitch too. Because by the way, you just proved
Yeah.
that you aren't that guy. because if you were, you would have just slapped Tim Pool in the fucking teeth.
Yeah, you would have jumped across the table.
Yeah,
or something,
like
at least.
So you're
if
not.
You're gonna, that's my thing. That's my thing with that situation. Like, if you're gonna stand up and act tough, like you can't just go halfway. You know, you gotta just if you're gonna do that, go for it. Yeah,
That's
you gotta.
The thing is like if I'm in that situation, I know Tim ain't fighting me, right? Like he's not gonna ever put his hands on you because he's a pussy. So you just sit. You would have to sit there, and if he was doing that to me, I'd be like, Tim, you're a faggot, and you ain't gonna do shit. So stop fucking talking shit, dude. Like that's what I would just laugh in his face, like because getting up and then be like, hey, it's a fucking guy, and then quietly picking up yourself and putting it back on as you sit down quietly makes you look like a bitch. So it's like,
yeah, he's like fumbling around for the mic.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's like, yeah, you're not that guy.
Dude, you might as well, like you said, if you're gonna get up like that, you might as well commit to it. So
yeah,
Typo, I know you had some thoughts. I remember you tweeted something out. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think you said like Tim Pool's super naive when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I know Adam and I were kind of going off there a little bit, but I wanted to make sure you got your commentary in as well.
Well, yeah, it's just pretty obvious. I mean, like the tie, it's like especially in the 20th century alone, you can just look at like how much funding we've gone to Israel over the years. I mean, even sorry, what's it, Leon Cosgrove? I don't know him very well.
Yeah.
Okay. In that clip, he was trying to explain the like basically what was that policy that they written? The neocons wrote this and
the clean break memo?
Yes, the clean break memo. And they wrote that not to like some person of us like in the American government or the president. They wrote that to Netanyahu, like the leader of Israel. So like this is not like some crazy conspiracy or like over the top thing. Like no, there's actually like, and plus like, dude, if there was like Chinese citizens in the levels of our federal government, I think we can be like, wow, dude, this is serious. Like China has deep influence in DC. And it's not to necessarily undermine the influence China has. Like, I'm sure they do have influence. Like there is like sketchy things that China does that, and I'm not even saying to not be worried about those type of things, but to act like that is on the same level as anything that Israel has in comparison of influence in the United States is just kind of insane. And like they try to bring up the Ukraine thing, which is true. Ukraine definitely has some influence over the last couple of years, a little bit more.
But not the last 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years.
But the difference is America didn't install a puppet government into Israel. They installed a puppet government into Ukraine. So it's like, it's basically we installed this puppet government, and it's like a funding cycle that happens through. Like we installed this government, we help them out, they send money, they lobbying groups to politicians, so then they send foreign aid to Ukraine. And it's like this cycle plus the military industrial complex is involved. So yeah, it's true that Ukraine had a bunch of lobbying, like more spending and lobbying over the past couple of years, but over like just the 21st century alone, Israel has vastly, and they're like on an automatic pay. Like at the beginning of the year, it just automatically goes to them. Like we don't have to vote on it anymore.
Yeah,
it's like a set thing.
One of the most interesting things to me at least was when Matt Gaetz was like protesting the Ukraine spending, and rightfully so. Like I've said ad nauseum that like some of the work that Matt Gaetz has done when it comes to putting forth like withdrawal bills or the Stop Ukraine funding kind of bills in the last like year and a half, 2-3 years, nothing short of heroic. But then it was funny when October 7th happened, he literally said, we shouldn't abuse the people's goodwill to fund Israel and then bag it in with Ukraine as well. It's like, you don't see this, like this parallel here. And I remember when I had Liam on my show, he was saying that like when because Liam Cosgrove like confronts congressmen and government officials, he goes to the House and like actually talks to people about this stuff, like our government officials on this. He said that he confronted Byron Donalds about this, and he said that Byron had kind of said that like Israel is like our long-term girlfriend. I'm not even kidding you, and I may be butchering this a little bit, but he said like Israel's our long-term girlfriend, whereas Ukraine is like the new hoe at the party. It was something akin to that, which is like you still don't see how this is like a problem. You're literally telling taxpayers that they have to foot the bill for the Israeli government to do what they're doing, which 50% of Democrats consider what Israel is doing in Gaza a genocide. 50% of Democrats. And then I'm pretty sure, even like 50, 60% of Republicans don't want any more funding to go to Israel. I'm sure they're a lot more indifferent to what's going on there, but they don't want the funding to be going there.
Yeah, and another like big like little antidote is like probably the Iraq War, which was like one of the most protested wars in America. The intelligence that came from that about the weapons of mass destruction, the Americans' own intelligence agencies didn't even want to sign off on it. They were like, they might have like said they hinted at it, but they never like fully guaranteed it. That intelligence source came from Israel. That came from Israel.
Yeah.
And they based that lie, and they took that lie and they invaded Iraq. So I don't know. It's just kind of crazy that I mean, it's not even like you have to do that much like research on this. I mean, it's just like very obvious to anyone that if you just look at Israel and fucking, what is he saying? Man, our optics of 5 white guys, all German, Irish, or dirty Italian, talking about GA. Well, sorry, dude. Protestant and Catholics have problems with them.
Yeah, so I heard we're trying to be honest.
It's true, and I wasn't even really referencing like the Jewish people. Really, I mean, a lot of
and
comes from Israel directly, like the government.
Yeah, every single time we talk about this, and this is what's so frustrating, is that like it's a very, very convenient position for the Israeli government to basically have, because anytime you criticize the Israeli government, what do they immediately say? You're anti-Semitic, you hate Jewish people. When like I'm very, very specific about not
We're
saying
like,
anything about
yes,
Jewish
go
people.
on.
Yes, you are
Dude,
exactly right.
That's
Them
like the
fucking
PayPal
Jays
thing
are
with
awful.
me. That's like the PayPal thing with me. It's like, well, they're right, but like, you know, it's irrelevant.
But I'm not. I'm just saying facts right now. I'll go into that stuff later.
That's great.
But yeah, you're spot on, dude. It's like that was already like a like what we call like woke now. Like you can't criticize, things going on in the Black community because if you talk about it like, oh, you're racist. That was already happening like before with Israel. That trope of like you're anti-Semitic, like right wingers have been canceled for a long time. Even talking about like any sort of like questioning the relationship between Israel and America.
It's not even just right wingers either. It's left wingers.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Completely.
Well, okay,
Like, it's not even. I don't even think it skews right wing. It's very much all over the place thing. It's
Okay,
one of those
well, maybe
things that they agree on, so you know that it's bad.
Yeah, right, yeah, and I think that's important, Sam. Your point, because there is this weird faux stance that people make, and they seem to always want to impress upon people that like the left is so anti-Israel and they're so for the Palestinians, but like when you actually think about it and you actually look at like the biggest names on the left, like if we're just talking about like in our government, we're talking about like Joe Biden, Anthony Blinken, and all the officials who actually have some serious power. They're all as Zionist as they come. They are very, 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 very fervently pro-Israel. So it's like the perfect situation. I think this is the way that our government likes it, is to have kind of like this faux opposition so that when people get mad at that and they don't actually look at what's really going on here. So one thing I also wanted to bring up is some of the speech laws that are being passed. So I read this off to my wife when we were driving out to go see
dude,
her
this is
grandmother.
crazy.
Yes. So they widened the of course Sam runs out of here. Oh
yeah,
no,
I can do it.
Okay, no, you're good. You're good. So basically, these are the some of the outlines of what Kristi Noem had signed into law. You will go to jail.
Wait, in America?
Yes. In South Dakota.
How is this possible? It's freedom of speech.
Dude,
so you think
doing shit like this.
But this is gonna get immediately fucking destroyed.
No, dude. In 28 states, there are anti-BDS laws. As in, if you protest the Israeli government, you can get fined.
What?
Yes.
Yeah. Israeli government officials brag about this, where they can't even. They talk about how they can't block Israeli citizens from protesting our government, but we can put a rope around the American citizens.
What the fuck? When did this happen?
Crazy.
This has been a thing for a while. Okay, so
you guys are all anti-Semitic.
Yeah. Well, here's a list.
Not in South Dakota, I'm not.
Yeah. Well, okay. Here are a list of IHRA anti-Semitic offenses that have been codified now into law by South Dakota. Okay. accusing Jewish citizens of being more loyal to Israel or to the alleged priorities of Jews worldwide than to the interests of their own nations. Denying the Jewish people their right to self-determination by claiming that the existence of the state of Israel is a racist endeavor.
Holy
applying
shit.
applying double standards by requiring of it a behavior not expected or demanded of any other democratic nation. Using the symbols and images associated with classic anti-Semitism, claims of Jews killing Jesus or blood libel, to characterize Israel or Israelis.
They
Drawing
literally did.
comparisons of contemporary Israeli policy to that of the Nazis. Holding Jews collectively responsible for the actions of the state of Israel. So, like, already we're right there. Like,
There's more?
what does this? Yes.
There's more.
What do, like?
Look at the
Dude,
it gets crazy.
It gets worse. It gets worse. Calling for aiding or justifying the killing or harming of Jews in the name of a radical ideology or an extremist view of religion.
Well, that's
Now,
just,
this-
I think, illegal to do. I don't think you can
Yes,
openly call
it's
for
already
violence
illegal.
anyway. So it's already a law,
Okay.
right? Like, it's
Well,
already
so
one.
yeah, making mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about Jews as such, or the power of Jews as a collective, such as especially, but not exclusively, look at that word jargon there, the myth of about a world Jewish conspiracy or of Jews controlling the media, economy, government, or other social societal
This is just
institutions.
proving the point.
Like, what,
Yeah,
what
we
I
wanted
was
to
telling my
prove that
wife
we
about
don't
this.
control everything,
Yeah.
so we made laws that you can't say that we control everything.
But like when I was reading my wife this, I'm like, dude, like this stuff is so ill-defined. Like literally, if you could just say like a rabbi owns Pornhub, which is a fact,
Fact.
they could literally stretch out and say, oh, you're being anti-Semitic, you're you're making mendacious or demonizing statements about Jewish
But
people.
this has to go to the
jail.
Supreme
You're not
Court,
convinced
dude, and
of
be fucking destroyed, right? I mean, 'cause,
I
like, this
don't
is
know.
crazy. This
Yeah.
is a direct violation of freedom of speech, like directly. Like, except for the other one that
Okay.
calls for violence, because you can't do that anyway. Everything outside of that one is like directly First
Okay,
Amendment
well,
protected.
Let me I'm gonna pull this up on Google. Have
Holy shit.
anti-BDS laws.
You guys
But this is
saw the
also like
Constitution.
everything that
Okay.
you would say about
Yeah.
like a Jew as a
Okay, yeah.
slander.
Accusing
And they
Jews.
have horns. Like, is that on there too?
Accusing Jews as a people of being responsible for real or imagined wrongdoing committed by a single Jewish person or group, even for act committed by non-Jews.
I don't even know what that
Denying, denying the fact, scope, mechanisms, gas chambers, or intentionality of the genocide of the Jewish people at the hands of National Socialist Germany and its supporters and accomplices during World War II. And then finally, accusing the Jews as a people or Israel as
bringing
a
the
state,
Italians into this.
yes, of inventing or exaggerating the Holocaust.
Oh,
That's
definitely.
and okay, so now before I tell you how many states have anti-BDS laws, which are boycott, divestment, and sanction Israel movements, like this stuff, they literally codified it into law in South Dakota. Now, I'm going to show this tab instead, and it's worse than I thought. Okay, how many states have
37?
anti-BDS? 37 states.
Oh, is
Yes.
Pennsylvania one of them?
I don't know.
Oh, look right now.
Yeah.
Look right now, quick.
I bet Illinois is.
Oh, it looks like it is.
Oh yeah, it is.
Fuck, we gotta go. Which one isn't?
Oh.
We gotta go to that one.
We could go to, where is it? Map showing. Let me see.
Maine?
What?
That's too cold.
New Mexico.
That's where we're
North
going.
Carolina.
No, New Mexico.
Okay, yeah, New Mexico. Let's
We're
do
going
it.
there.
Our boy
Or
Gary
Montana.
John- yeah,
Is Montana one of them?
I don't know.
What's the
Pending
orange
in
mean?
Alaska.
Dude, that's
No.
pretty much the entire continental
tell.
U.S. is.
Yeah.
This
Okay,
is
well,
just insane.
Dude,
Let's,
that really is though. Dude, I have this stupid joke about genies. How like you know how like genies have rules where like like they can't raise the dead and shit. Like it's like they can't raise the dead. They can't like make you fall in
Yeah.
love. They can't kill for you. I'm like, well, those are the best things to wish for. Like, what the fuck am I gonna wish for? That's like that list is like that's like everything you can say is like that list, dude. It's like, well, what am I gonna fucking say? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is literally insane. Like it's actually, it's always like the red. It always comes from like the Republican side too. Like the Republicans are more co-opted by Israel than the Dems are, but the Dems like don't really. Some of them are pro-Israel. Some of them are maybe critical of like what's going on in
It's
Palestine, but they're not really critical of the Israeli government.
right. Well, see, and like this is what I mean by like the faux stance of being, the left being so pro Hamas and terrorists is that like the Republicans will say literally that Joe Biden's leaving Israel behind. Like I've seen tweets and stuff saying that like we're not doing enough to support Israel. And like it's just because he'll say like, oh, well, we should just like give aid to Gaza, but then they'll say like, oh, well, they should probably take it easier on we should probably take it easier on the Palestinians. But it's like, okay, but you're literally telling Israel, like, you could do whatever you want. Like, we're going to give you money unconditionally. Okay, well, I mean, if you had a legitimate problem with the way that Israel was treating the Palestinians, you think you would like condition support for them or something, or just, at least have some kind of talk with Bibi Netanyahu. And then what happened as soon as they found the little hot mic moment of Biden saying that, oh, we're going to have a come to Jesus moment with Benjamin Netanyahu? Everybody was saying, oh my God, he's going against Israel. No, Biden would never. Because once again, his personal staffers have said time and time again, he is the most personally involved with the Israel issue. Biden has received the most money from AIPAC out of any other political candidate in history. Do you think he's going to pivot? No. The Biden crime family is a Biden crime family for a reason. They're known to be capitalist with a capital C. I like how we zoomed in on Typo. Sam, are you just doing like a mukbang in the corner?
Mukbang.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just incredible. It's actually, frankly, it's not even like really something. I mean, it's something to be angry about, but it's more or less something to be embarrassed about. Like the amount of simping that our country does for another country. It doesn't even have to be Israel, but just any country that they simp this much for is just frankly embarrassing to watch them. Like, I mean, the entire RNC debate was like, who can support Israel the most? Like, it was just them simping as much
we're
as
so
possible.
gay for Israel.
I feel like we're cucked as an entire civilization. It's pretty fucking embarrassing.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, and like there's no one like the America First movement had like a significant movement, but clearly when this Israel thing popped off, you find out really quickly that was just
completely
in name only.
It
like
went
that
right away.
Yeah,
well,
that
you know
was
what?
just
And so
Go
all
ahead.
the good guys like in our camp from the Libertarian Institute saw this stuff from a mile away. Like Pat, our mutual friend Pat McFarland had wrote an article a while ago called "The Cheese in the Trap," and it was about like Marjorie Taylor Greene, and we all kind of called it like, hey, as soon as something happens with like Taiwan or Israel, everybody's gonna lose their minds. Everybody, all the right wing, this anti-war fervor that they have, gone out the window. And what happened? October 7th, gone. And you could kind of see this when that whole spy balloon thing happened, which literally was a weather balloon by all accounts. Even our own Pentagon, who was saying like, hey, we're going to fight a war with China here in a couple of years. But though, as soon as like that balloon just blew over our country, they're like, oh.
Yeah, that was embarrassing. They just shoot it down.
Yeah, like, well, why is this a big
right
deal?
away? Shoot it down. I don't care if it's over a city. Shoot it down. We look weak as fuck. Shoot it down. Like, that's crazy.
It was something very easy for like. Wait, did that happen? That happened under Biden, right? Yeah. So it was very something easy for Republicans to like. Wow, Biden's just letting China spy on. And honestly, from like the optics of like normie, I get it. It's like
yeah, well, so do I. But like the other thing is that like that happened multiple times under Trump's watch too, but just like nobody blew it up. Like
that's hilarious. I didn't know
weather
that.
balloon. Yeah, and then like what happened was there were literally people with weather balloons all over the country that like were getting shot down with like $400,000 Pentagon missiles. Like you send your weather balloon up, and next thing you know, you're just like, oh yeah, it's just like never came back.
It's so funny. I wouldn't even be mad if that happened to mine. I'd be like, that's actually kind of sick. They thought it was a threat and they blew it up.
It's like the most effective way to China like just get us to waste our resources.
Sending them a balloons.
Yeah. Z's probably over there like, oh, we send them balloon. We'll
keep shooting them
waste
down.
money.
Big dumb, so stupid.
Yeah, big dumb.
The amount of outrage that came out of it was actually like pretty amazing. Like I know people at like my job were like I mean, some maybe were concerned, but some people were like, "Why are we just letting this happen?" It's just so funny to me.
Yeah,
That
dude,
people made it
it's
such a big deal.
it's a balloon, and then on top of that, it's like you realize like anything they could have got off that balloon, they probably could have just like got with like a satellite or something else. Like you realize, and not only that, if we have like you know TikTok,
100%, dude.
TikTok allegedly is this Chinese spy app, which is funny because the owners are from
One-
Singapore, and they have you know there's a whole ton of shares that are owned in the U.S. Like
And why are they really mad about it?
yeah, well,
Because of Israel. Because
But-
TikTok is pro-Palestine. Because the
Facts.
Zoomers are pro-Palestine.
Facts.
yeah.
It's almost.
I'm just
true.
gonna
They
point out,
told
if I'm-
people that when a subpopulation disproportionately does certain things, then that means that that subpopulation of people is guilty of certain things. You basically taught people to, once they're aware of like the mathematical disproportionality of Jewish power, which is not an anti-Semitic trope, it's a fact. 37% of the richest 400 Americans are Jewish. It's like not even close. Like I'm not.
Oh.
I don't care if you're offended by that. I don't give a shit. No one listening to this obviously is, but like, it's a thing. That's a thing. You are the ones that taught them to hate Jews, like through the transitive property. That's what you did. Sorry.
Well, and then when you're passing anti-BDS laws and then speech laws that specifically are for the protection of Jewish people, like, could you think of a better way to make people question, you know,
Exactly.
throw out the JQ stuff? Like, hey, you can't say anything about this certain group of people. So, like, if
But
you
you
want to
can
make
about
peop-
literally every other group.
exactly. So, if you
Yeah.
want to make people ask questions, that's a great way to do it. Like the wrong questions, the questions you don't want to ask. And like, I get why people get into the race realism stuff, but like my problem is like, what's your solution? Are you seriously going to say like we should deport all black people? We should deport all Jews? Like, let's. What's the goal here? If
Okay,
we
I'm
wanna talk
listening.
about
What are we talking?
but like we could talk about group
You're onto
differences. Well, did we say something about 110 last show? I think we said 110, if I remember correctly.
By the way, if I'm president, I'm shooting down every weather balloon and making a big deal about it. Because hear me out. What better way to get elected than being like, I'm kind of like a hero by saving us? Like it's such an easy optic to look like a fucking hero. So
Well,
easy.
Trump, you know what Trump would have did. I shut down the weather balloon. There will be no weather balloons in your country. I make weather balloons. You know they're good weather balloons too.
But that's my
in
point. And
country.
people would be
Yeah.
like, but even I'd be like, all right, yeah, fuck China's weather balloon. like making American weather balloons only.
the America First weather balloons.
And I would
behind
get
dumb
one
shit
too.
easily.
You imagine like he just gets like a giant weather balloon. He just has MAGA on it, and he's like, "This is
Yeah.
our country."
Send it over to China.
You sent us a weather balloon, G. I know you're a tough guy, but I'm a little bit tougher. Little Rocket Man.
I want to bring something up that we talked about last week. I got a little fucking dragged in the comments about my stance on the Pope because I'm Catholic, and I was like, the Pope kind of sucks.
Dude, that was just
I bet
that
you
was
guys
just a
would.
guy that was
It was
like,
two. No, it was two or three
converted
different people
Orthodox.
commented on it separately.
There was just some Orthodox people that came in. I think it was just because they're Orthodox. I don't think it was anything else.
No, whatever. And they were like, "How can you be Catholic and be?" I'm like, I don't know. This current Pope is like all about gay marriage and trans stuff. So, where's the Catholic values in that?
Well,
That's
like,
for one. You know,
aren't
it's
there?
like,
Isn't there like a huge sect of Catholics that don't look up to the Pope?
yeah, me and others.
Oh, massive,
Most of them.
massive amounts.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I'm not wrong for thinking the way I think, and I'm like, this means I'm not Catholic. So those guys were kind of pissing me off because I was like, he doesn't. In fact, first of all, every pope is corrupt. Like every single one. Like it's like it's talked about in like every single like part of like the like Catholic like teaching and stuff like that. It's like this pope did crazy corrupt shit. This pope was buying out shit. Like this pope was being bought by the Rome. Like it's like every pope's corrupt. This one doesn't do anything with Catholic values in it. So it's like, yeah, why would I support this? Because I'm told to? Like that's not
Well, I
supporting
mean,
the.
It seems like in my mind, like when you have a centralized religion or any kind of centralized power structure like that, that eventually it's pretty easy for someone with nefarious goals to get in there and undermine it. Which it seems like that's essentially what happened with the the Catholic Church and the Pope.
I agree.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, you're not really Catholic. It's like, fuck you. Also, suck my dick. You know, especially if Sam's right, they're Eastern Orthodox. I even barely know what that is. I know you guys have goofy hats. Like, I don't know anything else. Who cares? You guys look like your religion's in Lord of the Rings. Who gives a fuck what you say? Stupid. Yeah, fuck you.
Nice.
Catholic in name only. You're like a Joe
Nice.
Biden Catholic.
I'm like a Ryan. I'm a Chino Catholic. Yeah, well, whatever. Just want to get that off my
Fucking-
chest.
Yeah. No, it's all right. You're a Catholic. You could be the gayest.
No, I know I
one,
am.
that's
I have all
okay.
the sacraments that required
I
to
met a
be.
guy who tried to tell me that he was Catholic when he told me that he had 2 girlfriends and he was like trying to brag about it, and I was like, I literally called him a degenerate and like to his face, which he did not like. But yeah, I did that, and this guy tried to tell me that he was Catholic, and I told him, you are not Catholic. And it created a bunch of major issues, but so does having 2 girlfriends, you degenerate bitch. And
Well, just having okay, like what is having a girlfriend under like normal religious like values? Like it's
I
just
don't-
like, oh, you're announcing who you're fucking. Like that's basically
Yeah, I guess
doing.
it's
Yeah, you shouldn't even have
monogamy
one
within one chick. I guess. I don't know if there's any. I'm not. By the way, I don't claim to be the ultimate Catholic. I did go to Catholic
Yeah.
school, but like,
But if
they
we're
don't
gonna
teach you that
talk-
shit. It's just the
Yeah,
basics.
but if we're
of
gonna talk about
Catholicism.
like the traditional value of it, it's like, okay, but like what is dating? Like dating is like nowadays it's more or less
Right.
like it's not like a real commitment to something under like what marriage is supposed to be. And it's just like strange that you have a Catholic not only bragging about having 2 girlfriends, but why would you shouldn't even have a girlfriend at all, really? Like the goal is to be married. Like
Yeah, I
that
guess
is
it's
what-
weird because technically premarital sex is a sin, but it's
Yes.
like that's kind of a big deal. So
Yeah.
getting to know somebody, so you are on a flaw there, but I guess just confessing you're good. That's also the cool thing about Catholicism. Be like, hey man, my bad. And they're like, all right,
that's not really how it
Shut up, Sam.
works.
Do you guys think that therapy nowadays
Is gay,
is a
yes.
substitute for a confession?
My thing with, I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question again? I want to make sure I
Yeah.
respond correctly. I
Do you think
apologize.
therapy is like is relatively normalized in our culture, but do you think it's like more or less a substitute for confession?
No, because
With-
Protestants
with a
don't have
priest.
confession, and therapy came out of like Western medicine, which
Yeah, but
Right.
wouldn't you say that Protestants they still had a religious leader they could go to for their problems?
yeah, but
a
they
deacon.
didn't have like institutionalized. Yes, so yeah, okay. So I was centering in on the concept of the
Guys, isn't Sam so
confession.
stupid?
Dude, Adam, just because you have a 65 IQ and you literally don't understand what's going on, so you think
I have
that you know what's
121
going on?
IQ. You dumb fuck. What do
Dude,
you
there's
got?
No way.
Yeah, I do. I have
that
it written
you have
down somewhere.
121 IQ.
Oh,
Maybe it's 112.
dude,
Maybe it's
dude,
112. Maybe it's
you
112.
You
Maybe it's
just wrote it
112.
down.
You're
Do
just-
we want? Do we
I
want to
just
do
wrote this
IQ?
down.
Do you want to do?
It's
I'll
written
do an
down.
IQ
It's like
test.
I am
I'm-
112 IQ.
No, I did. I did
Hold on,
my
I'm sure I have
IQ
it.
test. Yeah, I know what my IQ is, but I'm curious everybody else's.
I
If
don't
we're
know
gonna go
your
down
IQ.
this road.
I took
7.
one of those internet things that said it was an IQ test, and it said 124, but I don't know how
Dude, those are
legitimate
not, you
that
can't
is.
take it on the internet.
I pay. I'm
Well,
pretty
how
sure
do
I
you take
paid.
it?
Luke,
You can
Lutherans
pay
don't count
for
their
one.
liturgical. Where did you take it, Kyle? You got to
Oh,
get it from like
right here, you fucking bitch. 120. It's
Dude,
120.
okay.
You fucking bitch. It's
Whatever-
right fucking here.
Whatever doctor did that?
A real
is-
doctor.
was
He had a lab
diversity
coat, he
hire.
told me.
Oh my god.
Had a
there is
lab
no
coat.
way. There is no
Bro.
way.
Well, Weschler, shut the fuck up. Weschler Adult Intelligence Scale, 4th edition, full scale IQ. My standard score is 120 was my score. Sorry.
Okay, so I took an IQ test. It was a while ago, but
Fuck
mine
you.
I got 127.
Dude, no You guys are bunking me right now.
I swear to God,
No,
this
there
is
is
I,
no
I
way.
swear to
Dude,
I swear to Christ.
How funny would it be that? How funny would it be that college educated Sam has a lower IQ than
I
us? Like,
swear to
that
God,
would
I have
be
it right here.
the
I'll tell you why.
funniest
Wait a minute.
Shut your fucking faggot mouth. I'll tell you how I got this. Because when I had my last brain trauma incident, 'cause I'm a man, I play real sports growing up.
Oh, this is getting better
I
and
was having
better.
memory problems. So they were like, we got to take a full cognitive IQ test with you just for practical safety reasons. And I had to take a full IQ test with everything. And my puzzle solving was shit, but that was it. Everything else was fucking pretty decent. And my memory wasn't great. My short-term memory wasn't great. But
So-
120, suck my dick.
Does it say
Oh.
120 in crayon? Hey,
Oh,
Phil.
it's
well,
crayon.
You joined at a bad time because I've just been told that Kyle and Adam both have above 120 IQs.
No, I have
and there's
120
no
IQ.
way that the two of your IQs added together add up to 120.
No one's
Absolutely
jealous about their dick
not.
size and IQ size, is what I'm hearing.
I don't, dude.
Here,
you know
I could
what?
actually pull mine up.
I mean, if
This
there's
is
any
from a
consolation,
real
I got
doctor.
bored after like 2 minutes trying to take that test. I'm like, fuck this. I don't care how dumb I am.
I had to. Medically had to do this.
Okay,
Don't
but-
pull that up yet because I don't know if it's going to load. This is old. Let's see. What
Okay.
year did I take this?
Phil,
I-
have you ever had one of these IQ tests?
I don't think
This
I
was
ever took a real-
2018.
Like a real one or an internet one?
A real one.
I took an internet one, so
Internet ones don't count. Adam seems to have the real one, so we'll have to.
This
trust
was
it,
this
but-
was a certified. Oh, this says certified.
I'm in the
Trustpilot.
superior
Well, then maybe
range,
it
you
is.
fucking cunt.
I mean, you can take
Who'd
it
you
online,
cheat
but
off
it
of,
can't be
Adam?
like a pop-up ad. I'm saying, like, there's real ones on.
No, yeah, I don't think this. Okay, yeah, here I got it. I got my certificate and everything. Or report. Let's see what the report says. I'm actually kind of curious now because I haven't looked at this in a long time.
Dude, there's no way.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
right here.
Wait,
No, I got it. I got the full thing.
Kyle, come on, man. Typo, back me up here. These guys are retarded, right? Like,
Hold on,
what
look.
is this?
dude,
Both could be true. I am also that.
See,
I
Dude,
can't.
no way.
I can't.
I pulled it up. Look,
It's here,
this
though.
is.
I have it saved.
Oh yeah, no, literally right here. Look at this.
Phil, you missed it. We already talked about the Jays for like 25 minutes.
We did.
I know. I was listening partially. I'm like, hey, what's up? Are we like just bitching about kegs again, or like what's going
We
on?
can. We could always do that.
Guys,
See,
the
that-
slurs. Please.
Shut up.
I
127,
only care
look
about
at that.
YouTube. I don't care about.
You
It-
scored. You scored higher than 96.4% of the general
Stupid.
population.
What
Sam's so
website is
dumb.
that?
Sam's so dumb.
This
Wait,
dude.
is
was,
this a real thing or is this off a website?
No, that looks.
No, this
legit.
was mine. This is off a.
Mine was
email.
real from a doctor. I have the paper.
BMI
Even in that
test?
screenshot I have is the doctor's office numbers and shit.
Yeah, brain. See, I told you this was like an official thing. Why should I do
Wait,
this?
did you
IQ?
do
No, I
this
believe
through
you.
a
Now,
like
I do.
clinical
I was
psychologist?
just asking, Kyle.
Did you
No,
do
it
this
was-
through your personal doctor or is this like a service?
I think it was a service I paid for online.
Oh, whatever.
I did
Yeah.
mine through an actual doctor. Sam,
But
Mine
listen,
don't just come
don't.
back and be like racist, like that.
Do it
bitch.
online.
Low
It doesn't have to be
IQ
like-
Sam. Haha, Sam's fucking
Dude,
stupid.
what do you mean? I just haven't had one taken. If you
Haha,
haven't,
we know
Ah,
you're dumb.
I'm sure.
Ah, you're dumb. That's like you saying you have a girlfriend in a different school. You fucking fag. You
My
stupid idiot.
girlfriend's in Canada.
Stupid.
Yeah. My girlfriend's in college.
That's creepy. Actually, good for you. There might be a chance she's a virgin, so props.
No, if she's in college, she's getting railed out.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, see,
You don't know.
Sam's not going to take an IQ.
He's taking a
test.
fake IQ test. He's taking a
taking one
fake
right
one.
now.
Wow,
This is the
what
one
a
that I stopped, like,
loser.
5 questions in.
What a loser. This
I
is like
suck
being
at
like
these.
you're poor and then trying to pull up your bank account to prove you're not poor. You just getting
Yeah.
dunked on, Sam. Fucking L, 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 L.
L's in the
Hey,
chat.
guys, L's in the chat. Please, L's in the chat. Please.
You don't
Is
see
this
that one
surprising?
black dude? I think he's like a FBA guy, but he's one of the ones about like reparations. And this black dude's like posting his checking account. It's like, hey, you hungry? Cuz like I'm paying for like fuck these people. Like who are
Yeah.
you?
Facts.
This
Guys,
is
we got
really
some L's in
surprising.
the chat.
Sam is
Luke
Irish.
asked me for an animal fact. Wombats are the only animals that poop cubes and no one knows why.
Weird.
Animal
That's
fact.
fascinating.
Yeah.
What,
And
y'all know?
Sam's retarded. I don't know if you guys also know that. So, two
Oh,
facts.
yeah.
Wait, so Phil, I have a question. You're under the assumption that the British have a lot of significant influence over pretty much Europe and
What
I
a
mean,
pivot.
because of the Jews, but yes.
Okay, but that's what I was going to ask you. So who has
Man,
more
just
influence?
dropping
Would
it.
it be the Zionists or British?
I mean, is the Jews pay rent free in the pockets of kings throughout Europe? Like that's how they conquered. And the British Empire was the most successful, and so they just bogarted their operation. That's been my conclusion.
So is it like they're working
I
hand
think
in
we're
hand?
we easily fall into just like blaming Jews because it's the easy thing to do, and that's advantageous to the British Empire that's still existing in the shadows. And what they've done is just export their military to the U.S. And that's oh fuck yeah, is that a JCM 2000? What is that? That's a lot of knobs. Kyle's amping.
Kyle,
I'm sorry, I'm
you're
nerding
back.
out.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
nerding
that's
out.
okay. No, I
Um,
got this is like a real cheap. I think it's an MG 100FX. The amp I normally use for my band stuff is my PRS MT15, and I run a Ibanez mini tube screamer through the front of it to give me my extra punch.
oh, right
Fuck, is
on.
this what it's like when we talk sports to Kyle?
dude.
That was
Yeah.
wild.
Oh, listen.
Holy
Yeah,
shit!
no,
I just had I thought I stroked out. I was like,
I've got a like legit. I can't remember if it's 82 or 83, but 800 and a
okay.
and a 1960A greenback weave cab, slant cab.
Okay.
Except
hell
it's
yeah.
at my buddy's studio, and so thankfully, like all the bands that come through, it gets use out of it. And
Nice,
then
nice.
and then here, right by my penis, I got my orange tiny terror.
Oh, you know what? We have one of those in my practice space, and I've always wanted to mess with it.
Is it like a
So,
tube one or is it the hybrid? Because this is the actual full tube.
I
beer
don't
case.
know if I'm being honest with you. I've seen it there. It has literally been there since I started in a Common Crown fucking 5 years ago. And I
Dude,
look
they
at it, I'm
sound
like,
fucking rad. Like you can actually get a lot of punch out of them. Not just like the dark terrors that I think Slipknot did a model of them or something. But
well, Brett Hines from Macedon did it was a micro terror. I think it was like a black orange head. Yeah, that one sounded pretty good. And I was actually torn when I originally got this amp behind me, my PRS. I was looking at the Brent Hines orange versus this PRS, and I love Mark Tremonti, and he was coming out with this head. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I think I'm gonna go for this one, and I think I did pretty good. I remember when my band was recording our EP, the engineer stopped and he was like, "Wow, that thing sounds fucking good." I'm like, "Yeah, it does."
who did Brent Hines play for? I'm not like a metal dude. So
Brett Hines from Mastodon.
oh, okay.
And then
okay,
Mark Tremonti played for a Creed, Tremonti, and Alter Bridge.
dope. I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never played a PRS like amp. I don't think I played. No, I played their guitars.
Yeah, their guitars are awesome, but no, the amps are really, really good too. Like I was surprised with how good this one was. And I mean, I'm a big PRS guy, but now like most of the guitars that I play they're a company from Texas called Jericho, and
Really?
that's like pretty much exclusively what I play now. Yeah, American made guitars. They're beautiful. They play really, really well. In fact, this is the one I've done like most of our shows and stuff with.
Oh, look
And
how.
recorded with.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought. Guess how much that guitar was?
Uh,
I got it used. So
you got it used. I don't know if this is gonna be like you're trying to humble brag or you're like, dude, I got the sick deal. Guess how inexpensive it was.
no. They're not that expensive. So I got the guitar for $650.
I was gonna guess 8. That's rad.
Yeah, they're just such well-made guitars. The first one I got was $450 off their website in a clearance sell, and I had kept eyeing them up for like years. I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna fucking buy one. And I finally did, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is like the greatest guitar company that I've ever played. So I've had 4 in total, and that one was my second one. I had one other with a single pickup. I have a single cut with a single pickup, and then I have one that's called their Raven with a Seymour Duncans in it, and it just sounds so fucking good. It's
Dude,
it's an
2 years
amazing
ago,
guitar.
I was gonna put this JB in this Fallout tribute from GNL, which is like a fun guitar. I wanted. I'll show you real quick. I'm sorry we're hijacking the show, but this is what I felt like talking about, and you're not saying anything, so I'm going to talk about it.
We're letting Kyle have his moment.
Yeah, we talk about sports like all the time.
We do this all the time.
It's true.
This has kind of been like, look, I see a cat falling asleep on the bed.
I
Oh,
mean,
that's Mochi.
to be fair,
So
what
this is this was like $400, but it's fun to play.
Yeah.
It's good. It's like a C neck. It's got P90 in the neck, which I don't use. I would love to like
Gotcha.
what's it called? Not disengage, but bypass everything but the bridge pickup, because that's where I'm at this point. Because like this is my pride and joy. Like this is a Gibson, but it's an 87, and I hate this fucking saddle. This fucking saddle bullshit on the like reissues. I want to get just a single like tail piece to make it look sick. But I put the tortoise shell pickguard on it and the cream dog ear cap because it was unique. And then these knobs are from a Telecaster. But this is like my favorite thing. Like I'm Gibson really through and through. And then my Les Paul's over there too. But
I gotcha.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, I'm sure you're like me. You just have like an endless list of guitars that like you need. But you bring up like kind of these like boutique companies. There's one company called Banker, like a banker.
Actually, surprisingly.
I ran into my cat hates guitars. Like she just hit under the bed just now. But they're really cool. Like I really want an Explorer, right? And like, of course, these boutique companies are gonna like up price them, but of course, because they source the wood themselves, each model is fucking like customized.
Right.
But they'll do really cool shit. Like they'll do an Explorer gold top with a P90, nothing else.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, like look it up. Like my Instagram feed's fucking fire. Like TikTok sucks ass, like their algorithm. But yeah, dude. I don't play much, but I like window shopping.
No, I totally get it. I do the same thing. I right now my Harley Benton. My wife actually got me this Harley Benton. And it was funny because I had
Good
one.
wife, keep her.
Oh yeah, believe me, she's great. So I bought her a guitar a few years back, and it was a Harley Benton Super Strat with a golden Floyd Rose in the bridge, and then like golden tuners.
Cool.
And I was looking at one. It was like a Super Strat, very very similar to hers, and like where I'm sitting, I have a guitar stand right to my left here, and I had that guitar with the golden bridge and everything in it. I'm sitting right there, and I think I came upstairs. I came here to like mix a podcast or something like that, and I remember looking to my left, and something didn't look quite right. So I kept working, and I looked again. I'm like, what the fuck? And it was a completely different guitar, but it looked the same. Like the color of the body was still the same, and the headstock was the same, but it had active pickups, and it was one that I wanted for quite a while. And she's like, yeah, I got you that for Christmas, and she just fucking swapped it. I had no idea until
that's funny.
Yeah, she completely fooled the shit out of me. So I actually have a guitar out getting set up now, and I have I'm starting a new band now. I'm still gonna be playing in my main band, but we're gonna be doing some heavier stuff. And I have a Diamond Hailfire Trans Walnut ST Plus that's getting set up, which
is.
I will let me see if I could pull that up.
Do you have a name for the new band?
I think we're calling it Those You Condemn. That was Ben's.
I have a great band name that I'll never use because I have no I almost have comedic talent. I'm a comic. God damn it! I have no comedic talent. I have no musical talent. Comic book villain. Great band name. That's just the band name in itself. Comic book villain. No one can steal that.
So someone's probably gonna steal this, but it was approved by Pete Quinones.
Oh, nice.
And it was.
He has a good taste in music.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh yeah, that's like it's got a Iceman kind of flavor / hybrid with like a Firebird.
Yes.
That's sick.
Yeah, so that's the one I have out. I'm getting set up right now.
Is that actually like a full like three piece like through neck?
Like, yeah, no, it's a full. It's a full through neck.
Yeah.
Let me see. I wonder if they have a picture of the back of it because like it looks like it would be really heavy, but it's okay. There you go. It looks like it would be heavy, but it's not. It's very very thin.
Do you only use active pickups?
No. Mine actually has passives. I'm actually getting new pickups put in it, but no,
I never like dug active like the thinness. I don't know how like Kirk or James Hetfield's tone sounds so heavy because when you listen to demos like A/B tests of like active versus passive, like the passive just sounds better to me. I guess it
actually,
depends what you're going for, but
okay, so since
I
we
still
already
also
had-
can't get over that you need a fucking 9-volt battery in your guitar to make it work. Like,
it is kind of weird. Okay, I want to play this video, and you could tell me how my tone sounds on this, and hopefully it doesn't suck ass. So since we're already all the way
Bro,
here,
this is I you know
I
I didn't
lost
even know
all your
half of these
viewers.
things
You're welcome.
existed in guitars.
Oh shit!
I thought you just strummed the strings and then sound comes out.
no, it goes deep, and like I'm kind of a retard on some of this stuff. Like I mostly just kind of pick it up and play.
That's how I
um,
am.
Yeah.
You don't unretard yourself until like your retarded curiosity drags you down that path.
And Pete, you mentioned, yeah. No, well, Pete, despite being a bomb thrower on Twitter and may seem like he's like the most rude, ignorant dude ever, if you talk to him one-on-one, he's like sincerely
the
just
man.
Oh,
dude.
he's a sweetheart.
He-
Wait,
He's a fucking man.
did I drop the band name that he approved?
Oh no, what is
I
it?
don't think.
Oh, it's Pilot's Courtyard.
I like that too. Damn it.
Huh.
I like that too. I don't like it better than Comic Book Villain, but I like it.
Hey, someone pull the thing I shared.
Oh, I got you. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're all right.
I forgot Sam's
All right,
useless and trying to be
so
smart.
this is my tone, and this is with active. So I have a wild audio guitar. This is my drop C guitar.
This is gonna sound amazing coming out of my MacBook. I mean, like they really do the Zach Wild thing. Like you can hear it. It's kind of like it's a mid-tone kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like it's more
Yeah.
like a boxy
Well,
sort of
also
thing
like
that cuts through the mix.
when it comes to active pickups, they really like fill in artificially, and like I know people probably like revolt when they hear that, but like it really gives you a big sound.
Yeah.
And like there's ups and downs to that. So like if you really want to capture like the sound and the soul of a guitar, as in like the tone of the wood, the fretboard, and everything like that, passives are obviously the way to go. But when it comes to actives, if you just want like a loud, boisterous tone that punches at all times, then actives are the way to go. Now, like I'm not
I totally get
particularly,
that.
yeah, I'm not partial either way. To me, it kind of depends on the guitar. My Jerichos, all my Jerichos have passives in them, and I love them. But like that wild audio, I love the way it sounds with actives in it. So like I said, I'm not really particularly partial one way or the other. And like my favorite guitar player is Dimebag Darrell from Pantera. He always played solid state with solid state with passive pickups, and like his tone just crushed. So, and then my second favorite guitar player is Zach Wild.
Yeah.
Dude, Kyle, watching you play guitar, it's like first of all, every comedian wants to be a musician, but again, we don't have talent. That's why we're comics. Like that's because like we want to be right, like we want to be on stage, but like we can't do that.
I've written like a minute of comedy, which I think is kind of funny, but then in hindsight, like you fucking piece of shit, what are you doing?
No, that's it. That's exactly how comedy works. We're talking about it. That's exactly how I write all my jokes. I'm like, you fucking stupid piece of shit. That's how they all start. But like watching you play guitar, like to me, that's so impressive. Like how well, like especially like really good guitar players, like you and like others, and like the best. If I was a king in like medieval times, and that's the first time I saw a guitar, I'd be like, kill him. He's a witch. Like kill that guy. Like what are we doing? This guy's gonna walk around alive? No, this guy gotta die. This is crazy. You can't have those powers. I was like, it's crazy. Like, it's the fact that you can do that is incredible to me. Like I can't. I taught myself like a handful of songs on the piano. And I taught them like you would teach if you were trying to teach a turtle how to read English, like the slowest, dumbest way possible is how I taught myself how to play. And like, so I don't know how the fuck you do that shit.
You know what's funny is I literally just picked it up one day and I'm like, all right, I want to play this, and I just
rub
started
it in. You know,
Look, we're talking.
I can play Everlong, bro.
I started that 17 years ago, and I'm still doing it. So,
and no, not even Wonderwall. I learned Hurt on the piano by Nine Nails.
But
Oh yeah. And I wonder. You know, I'm writing a I'm writing an Upchurch spoof rap because I hate Upchurch, and like writing it in my head, I realize how hard it is. If I say it on here,
Is that a band or a genre?
What is
it's a country rapper, and I hate these country rappers so
sounds
much.
awful.
Yeah, so like I have the lyrics, but they're so gay because I hate Upchurch. So
You should just do a whole Wheeler Walker character. You don't
Who's that?
remember Wheeler Walker Jr.?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't remember Wheeler Walker Jr. did?
Fuck you, bitch.
Yeah, look, pull him
You
up, Kyle.
broke
Pull him
my
up.
heart.
He's a comic named Ben
Oh,
something. Fuck,
Wheeler.
Ben something.
I actually
Ben
think
Hoffman.
I think
Ben
he's
Hoffman, thank you.
Jewish.
And 100%. You think
Okay.
Ben Hoffman, and he just completely like went full Andy Kaufman on like on a country music character. Like he was friends with Rogan, so he won a Rogan a bunch of times. With like Wheeler Walker, he was like doing the rounds like in the bigger podcast back in the day,
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
and it was just a whole bit though. But like he broke like legit country music charts because he was like,
Wow.
Yeah, dude, it was a wild thing that happened, but you just gotta do that. Do something like that. Just go full Andy Kaufman. Just be like, no, I'm this guy for real. Like, I don't know who Kyle is.
Yeah.
Kyle who?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think of a name now. And you know, the best part is that like I look good with a hat and a flannel on, so I could.
There you
totally
go.
rock
You might have to
the-
shave your
the-
beard though if you want to go in full character.
Too long?
Too
You
long?
don't think I could have a beard?
No, because then you'd look like
Okay.
too much like Kyle. See, Ben
Okay.
didn't have a beard, and then Ben grew like a big beard
Okay.
and put on
all right.
sunglasses, cowboy hat. You guys do the opposite.
Get
Get a wig,
Gotcha.
Shave your beard. Bam.
Okay.
Now we're fucking. Oh, we're working the character. Don't worry, we'll get there.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Well, you know, Upchurch wears a hat and then he raps. I'm sorry. I like the country rap literally makes me angry. Like almost as much.
Your
as
name should be
Eminem makes
Down
me
Temple.
angry.
Up church, down temple.
That works.
Yeah, with a side of Down syndrome because that's the way these fucking rappers sound. Yeah, like I
People that go to
oftentimes
temple
say-
don't have Down syndrome. Let's be honest.
Yeah. They get yeeted off a cliff back in the day, so they didn't let that happen.
God, yeah, I seriously can't stand that shit. So it's like, what the that Tom McDonald was another dude. He's not like a country rapper, but he's kind of like in that general orbit. Who else? The Moonshine Bandits are another one. Upchurch. The one dude was pretty big. Adam something. I can't.
Who
remember his
does
last
the
name.
last night we made the liquor?
Morgan Lane.
Dude, I like Morgan Wallen.
Morgan Wallen.
I like Morgan Wallen.
Well, he's kind of different. Like these country rappers, it literally sounds like T-Pain fucked their cousin. Like I just cannot stand it. Yeah, so like the one song they say country boy shit, yeah, motherfucker, and every single time I hear it in my shop, I say 3 inches deep in my cousin, motherfucker. I seriously,
Florida
me
Georgia
disgusted.
Line. Those guys.
yes. Well, they're not quite in the ranks with like Upchurch. It's a very specific thing, and my coworkers call it hip hop or heck hop. And I'm like, no, like these dudes should be like punished for crimes against humanity. That's how bad this stuff is.
Yeah, I'd rather listen to fucking Insane Clown Posse than stuff
Yeah.
like that shit.
Honestly, like I think if we in Minecraft, we went to Imaginary World Minecraft and constructed a walled cell with where you could put Upchurch, Blink 182.
You watch your mouth.
Eminem.
Don't you
Watch
shit
your
on
mouth.
Blink too, motherfucker.
Watch your
I
goddamn
will
mouth.
kill you.
Watch
Oh,
your goddamn mouth.
This is physical threat.
Dude.
Watch your goddamn
I-
mouth.
I don't take it back.
No.
Eminem, Blink 182,
Eminem.
Upchurch.
Stop it.
Yes.
Here, dude.
What are we
Eminem,
doing?
like if we could execute
Early
these
Eminem.
people in
Stop it.
Minecraft.
You're thinking of new Eminem. You're thinking of gay Eminem.
Dorhinge. No, listen, all Eminem is gay.
Stop
Eminem.
it.
Yes, I
This
despise
is crazy, Kyle.
His
Kyle,
voice
this
is
is
like nails
crazy.
on a chalkboard. He sounds like Big Bird getting something shoved up his ass.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what he
his thing.
sounds like. And it's horrible.
No, Till I Collapse is a banger. Stop it.
Yeah, till he collapsed on a fucking fat dick.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess you can. But that's your right as an American, but
Oh, dude,
Stop
look
it.
at the IQ result. Look at the test.
Yes!
you dumb fuck.
Yes!
I mean, that's about mine.
The filthy
JK.
technician is smarter
You
than all of you
idiot.
fuckers.
I'm a stupid comic. You idiot.
This Pollock
idiot.
who turns wrenches is smarter than all
I
you
tell
dirty
dick jokes for a
Jews.
living. You
It's not a
fucking
real
idiot.
IQ test. It doesn't count.
Oh, see, of course,
Even
of
worse
course.
for you.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It's even worse for you, you idiot. L's in the, hey guys, L's in the chat. L's in the chat.
We need L's in the chat for Sam.
Chat, L's in the
Major
chat,
L's.
L's in chat. L's in chat.
Of course, it's not a real IQ test
Oh
because it
my
made Sam look worse.
Holy shit.
Sam hung out with a bunch of Asians and he thought like, oh, I must be smart.
I'm dumb and bad at basketball.
How are you the worst basketball player on the team and also the worst at math? Are you both?
Man, I bet you really shame Famery.
God
I don't know
damn,
what that
dude.
means because I'm dumb.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, we know, but your
Obviously.
fucking low ass IQ score, you dumb bitch. God, it was so enjoyable. So enjoyable watching you get a 107.
It's just his Irish roots showing, you know.
Yeah. Looks like the
You know,
Italians are
that's actually-
superior once again. That's crazy. Look
If
at
it was 109, then it'd be cool. But 107,
that. Nah, 107 means nothing. No
It was
107 means
110. That would
Yeah.
be
it
awesome.
means you're dumb as fuck is what it means.
I think
I
we
don't
need
need to
to
explain
push
the
the
109
110.
joke, do I?
No,
No,
I
that's why I
literally
Not here
made it
you
earlier.
don't. Not here you don't.
I'm just making sure we're not all 107 IQ.
You're in safe waters here. Sorry, we're all not Sam. Don't worry about it. You could lay the high ones.
Yeah,
on.
you might have to explain it to Sam.
You might have to explain it to Sam though, because he's clearly the dumb one here. Yeah, you probably don't even know how to work the game. You probably.
I need help. Help.
God
Only
damn,
the
dude.
Battlefront, not
Yeah,
one.
they brought it back. They brought back the old school ones on Xbox.
You
and
know
shit.
what? The old school ones, like the one that Sam's playing, actually was like some of the best game.
They brought it back on
I
Xbox. I'm
love-
saying you can
yeah.
play it right now.
No.
Oh,
this is
really?
the
Like
Yes.
this specific
classic
version?
collection.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, they brought the classics
They
back.
brought the
No
classic
way.
back. Yeah, this was the better one.
Oh.
The new ones were okay at some of them, but these were way better.
Like, is it
Listen.
worth it if you can't play a Jedi eventually? Like, no.
Yes.
No,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
the game was still really enjoyable.
It was still better.
can't-
Yeah.
The only thing they really updated was the the thing with they made it so that you could play as the Jedis on every thing. Oh, maybe not on the first one though. Maybe on the second one only.
Yeah, on the
No,
first
that-
one,
that
you
was
could play
Battlefront
as a
2.
Jedi. Yeah, Battlefront
Right.
2, you could play as a Jedi.
But they
Correct.
made it so that you can do the one where it's all of them. Like you can play as all of the heroes
Oh,
against
yeah.
all the heroes
Yeah.
on all the maps. At least on Battlefront 2. I don't know if I don't think they did it on one.
No, you couldn't do that on number
No, this
one.
map ruled.
No, I know you couldn't do it on one, but on the re-release. But they
Oh,
said it was a
gotcha.
remaster, but they like didn't really add anything.
Is this Battlefront 1 a remaster?
Yeah, this is Battlefront 1.
Or did you just like
Two
ROM hack
is
it?
better.
2 is
Yeah,
They
two-
have the rebel.
Two,
bags.
they kind of like worked out a lot of the kinks for number 2. Yeah, dude, I played endless hours.
I
of that
suck in
fucking
this
game.
too.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not good at
Sam's
shooting up.
playing as a woman.
Well, yeah.
The only
Yeah.
games I
All-
kick ass
He's
at
playing as what he
are-
knows.
Oh.
You know.
Yeah. Listen, alls I do is play classic World of Warcraft, so I'll gladly take all the.
I never got into that. I tried.
All
so many
I
times.
do is solo run Pokemon Yellow with Charizard and wreck shit.
Oh yeah.
That's
I
pretty
got
awesome.
my teeth kicked in with my boys in NHL right before I got on. 2 games in a row going quick teeth kick in. And I was like, all right, that was fun. I'm gonna go do a podcast.
So I suck at this, so I'm gonna do something I suck at just as bad.
Holy shit. No, we got fucked in these games. It was like games where like their goalie would stop everything and then our goalie was letting them like trickle in 5 hole shots. We're like, cool. See how this is going. So should we just quit? Should we quit and stop this now? What are those? Are we wrapping up?
Want to? We can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to
I gotta
eat.
go.
I went to the
Oh,
gym.
I gotta
I'm
go
starving.
eat.
Yeah, I'm starving.
Cool. All right. Well, let's do plugs.
Yeah, let's do plugs. We lasted long enough to know that Sam's the dumbest one out of everybody here. So that
I
was
like
fun.
it.
I like
Oh, wait,
that.
we're done? Fuck.
Well, I mean, you guys can stay on. I have to go eat. I'm gonna pass
Oh.
out.
Oh yeah, I forgot how that's how.
No,
the-
that's
work.
that's okay. Well, you know what? I guess I'll go first. Tomorrow night, Typo will join me on my show, and the stream is going to be called Just Asking Questions because I think Typo and I are in a very yeah. I think we're in a very, very similar place when it comes to our political beliefs and the ways that we're kind of looking at the world. And I think we kind of came to it in very, very similar ways. So I think it's going to be an interesting show. I was just on their show. I think you guys published it on last Friday, so make sure you go check that out as well. And I will have Daniel McAdams on Wednesday as well.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
The second time. Him and I are kind of buddies, so I'm really, really looking forward to that conversation. That's all I got going on this week. So make sure you go over to my channel, Kabatovic and Liberty and Health Podcast, everywhere you can find podcatchers. Check out my band, A Common Crown. And I guess I could let everybody know now. In June, we will be opening for Hinder on June 30th. If you're in the
fuck yeah.
Pittsburgh area.
Dude,
What the
Thanks,
fuck?
Lips of an Angel, bro.
Where
I
at?
fucking love Lips of an Angel.
I forget. So late.
Fucking song rules, dude.
I forget where at, but I want to say it's somewhere in
I can't wait to listen to that song.
Southwestern Pennsylvania. Yeah. So, but yeah, we're going to be opening for them.
Kyle, where
in
are you
June.
based? What state are you in?
Southwestern Pennsylvania,
Okay, never
near
mind.
Pittsburgh.
Did we meet at a Ron Paul event in Houston a couple years ago?
No,
Were you okay? Never mind. I thought you might.
I
have been.
wish.
Ryan
No,
and like a bunch of other like NRC people were there.
No, I'm not. I don't want to say I'm like outside of the dissident right circle. I'm like dissident right curious. I guess you could call it that.
I mean,
Bring them
I don't.
all-
Ryan Dawson
bring
isn't
them
really
all in.
dissident right.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ryan Dawson.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you meant like the guys from the
Oh,
OGC.
like Turnips,
No,
dude.
yeah, that's who I thought you were referring to.
Yeah, I know. I haven't met him yet.
Okay. No, I'm friends with I like Ryan and I follow each other on Twitter, and in case we go back and forth. But like Reed Coverdale and Eric Jackman are really good friends of mine.
Okay, dope.
Yeah, read some.
I thought I might run into you. Anyway,
No,
cool,
sorry.
man.
Go listen to the Cult of Us podcast. New episode coming out Wednesday or Thursday night. youtube.com/Cult of Us. Go see me do comedy November. Jesus Christ, it's March 28th. Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. Come on out to that. April. Shit. When the fuck am I going away? When the fuck is the
April
Texas
shit.
thing?
It's the 12th and the 13th of
Is that it?
April,
Is that it?
and I'll be there.
Okay, April 12th
Also,
and
follow me on
13th.
MySpace.
Shut up. Corpus Christi, Texas. And then April 21st, Minnesota. And then other local Pennsylvania, New York, and Jersey shit in between. Just check my social media at Adam Nutter for all the local stuff.
Bro, Corpus Christi's a shithole.
Well, I'm only doing comedy there, so I don't care.
Nice. Nice.
Biting the bullet. We just dropped an episode with Kyle, like he just said, and at the Real Typo on Twitter, and Keep It Real Luke on Twitter for Luke, who's not here.
Yeah. Phil, you got to come on a full episode and we'll talk more shit.
Oh, bro, I'd love to. Yeah, just hit me up whenever.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, of course, Sam does this. Sam's the worst producer in the world. He's also dumb. That's why he's dumb and retarded. All right, guys.
Yo, follow me on MySpace.
Phil, go ahead, give your plugs.
Yeah, what's up? I'm Phil Gibson, Mr. Sue on Twitter. I write a Substack called QPOL, QPOL, stands for The Quiet Parts Out Loud, where I talk like Fed stuff, macroeconomics, some culture, some other shit, but mostly autism about monetary policy and stuff like that. And I'm also like, firstly, music was my first passion. So, if you like that in the rock scene, alternative scene, like think pop punk, but more Southern and less gay than you might think it sounds, then, if you do philgibson.bandcamp, then you can check out some tunes there. And fellas, thanks for having me on the show. This is fun.
Sure, dude.
Of course.
Follow me.
Don't.
Don't. Actually,
Follow me on
unfollow
Twitter.
Sam and everything. Unfollow Sam and everything.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Unfollow Adam.
Nope. Unfollow
Follow
Sam.
his 7 followers.
Unfollow Sam.
Check me.
Unfollow Sam right now.
Don't do it. Follow me.
Okay, bye.
No, we're not. Don't end the stream.
I'm not.
We live here now.
In the stream, dude. I gotta go eat.
Okay, you guys can all leave. I'm staying here and playing Battlefront. I'm
What?
staying
No,
here and
Alright.
playing Battlefront as long as
I'm
there's
walking
5
away.
people
So
watching.
I'm going to eat. So I'm
Bye,
leaving.
guys.
Bye.
This
Later.
is Battlefront 2.
Cheers, everybody.
Oh, this is awkward. We're still live. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, they really did exit out of there too.
We're gonna be live.
Sam.
We're gonna keep living. Hey, so like going back to some of the Jew stuff you were talking about.
Oh my god.
You guys listen to Stone Choir, right? Do you know what that podcast is?
No.
Okay. Ryan Turnipseed had them on multiple times, and they are cradle Lutherans, arguably, but they criticize Christianity into what it's become, essentially. How Satan's worked his way through the church. Every denomination is just cucked, faggotry, pushed, so much to where the LCMS, the Lutheran Church of the Missouri Synod, which is supposedly like the most like based of like conservative Lutheranism, they've cucked themselves silly to the point where every now and then, I don't know how often they do this, but every now and then they will like update the large catechism, like basically big like book of principles of like what Martin Luther kind of represented, and they'll like add in like modern interpretations to it. And so they like try to quote Lutheran in saying basically those that are burdened with homosexuality, pedophilia, and all this other shit, like we must pray for them, but like also opening this interpretation like, oh, they're burdened by it, as in like God created them in like that sin that they are in, which is just complete like blasphemy. Anyway, what they do is they just like tear down these people that are, you know, these heads of state, if you will, these church elders in the church and whatnot. But they recently didn't really have to do a whole like preamble show for their show, but that's kind of like where they stand. And to bring up Ryan Turnipseed, if you go to Ryan Turnipseed's pinned tweet, he explains how he was also excommunicated from his church, from the entire LCMS, for platforming Stone Choir, this podcast. But the most recent podcast that Stone Choir did was criticizing how the Catholic Church recently put in all of their pews now that basically says has literature saying that, hey, Jews didn't kill Christ, kind of thing. Because this goes along with the recent bill that was passed in South Dakota.
We were literally just reading that before you got on.
Were you?
Yes.
Anyway,
that's okay.
It's pretty eye-opening, just like how far people are being cucked to this Satanist ideology. Like, let's call it what it is. And so for even the Catholic Church, and I kind of asked, I'm Groper adjacent, I'll say. And so I get on like Twitter Spaces, like Paul Allen and Beardson and all these other people you may or may not know. They're great. They're funny. They're kind of a breath of fresh air because they take a step back from the political shit. And
Sure.
the shows that they do are kind of like I don't know, like shock jockey, like Howard Stern, but like not left. And but I kind of pose the letter that was published from the Catholic Church, and it's just kind of sad how they rationalize like, oh, like, yeah, we hate the Jews, but you know, it was all of our sins that Jesus died for. Like, yes, but it's interesting how in the Stone Choir episode they were talking about basically there are 5 pillars that you could argue, like Jesus died for our sins, as I forget what the 3 other things were, but also like it was the Jews that persecuted him in the first place. I mean, that's kind of where the band name of Pilate's courtyard came from, because Pontius Pilate brings up Barnabas, like this murder, whatever, actually done shit, sentenced to like prison until death, whatever, and he throws this guy out in front of the Jews and saying like, hey, like, do you actually want to kill Jesus Christ, who's guilty of nothing, or like, do you want to crucify Barnabas? And they go like, you know, crucify Jesus. Obviously, that was the Jews, like the Jewish people, also the Pharisees, but Pilate just didn't want to have the political backlash and turmoil and damage his reputation by killing an actual bad guy, for lack of better words. And so it's just really, it's sad how everybody of every denomination, even how like based people might be, I mean, as base as you might think Groypers are or are not, how Zionism has or just like the Judaizing of Christianity as it is, how far it's actually penetrated deeply into even like our circles and adjacent, and how they have to like rationalize whatever like Jewish theory rationalization that has like penetrated like their zeitgeist. It's just it's a trap that just won't go away. It is a satanic rat that just like finds a crack of crevice everywhere that it can. And yeah, it's just a cancer. So
Jesus.
that was just like recently enlightening. Like this conversation happened like only a few days ago. Like they were doing a Twitter space over the weekend, and I like asked them what their like Christian hot take was, and it was just,
I'm here for
huh.
talk. Jeez. Yeah, you know what? I'm pretty new to the religious world.
Pagan.
Because I grew up agnostic.
Just kidding.
No, I don't know anything about that. I always hear people say pagan, but I don't know. I sincerely don't know. Most of the people that I've talked to, like I had Jim Bob from Made by Jim Bob on my show last week, and then 2 weeks ago I had Jay Dyer on to talk about some of this stuff, and it's been interesting to say the least. I still consider myself an agnostic, but let's just say I'm more curious than I was in my younger days, and I just turned 29 back in November, but I'm open to learning more, and
Yeah.
Like I said, these conversations kind of interest me. The stuff you're talking about, that's like way out in left field for me, not like a bad way, but just like I don't know.
Oh, this shit is like still brand spanking new to me, honestly.
Sure.
I grew up Christian. I played in like, the Jesus like rock band and like worship and shit in high school. Just because it was what you could do as a kid. And my folks were always spiritual. Especially like my grandparents who live out in the boonies on like a cliff in Port Angeles, Washington, like the place where they filmed the Twilight movies, and they take in like recovering like drug addicts in their house and stuff, and they should just try to like live the Church of Christ, whatever. But I don't know. I never really took it seriously until, like, funnily enough, I was a born again Christian because of this fucking like Stone Choir podcast. And like I'm in like the Telegram groups, and I'm not like super active as others are, but it just really they cover history. They do a great series like on the Jews. It's a 4-part series. Their 4th episode, called The Big Lie, was taken off Spotify because it went through a objective view of World War II and the Holocaust. Like one of the hosts, I think, is like a self-proclaimed like not democratic, so national socialist. But it's just very interesting. Like they cover history, they cover theology, like going through like what the things, like what the sacraments actually are, going through certain practices, going through like the history of the Reformation, like to begin with, and like the different like like why is there Catholicism, and why did like Eastern Orthodoxy like break away from that, and then after that, why did we have Lutheranism? Like, why did the Catholics like kick out Luther, and Luther actually still like living and claiming that he's he's identifying as a Catholic because he's preserving what like Catholicism was supposed to be. And so like I jokingly but also halfway seriously call myself like a born again. I definitely take my faith more seriously, but probably not as serious as I should. But I guess everyone that's like spiritually conscious would probably say the same thing. But I don't know. I always thought that like the whole Zionism thing was like a political and pragmatic colonialist thing out of like, as human beings do. But I definitely kind of going through their series. There really is like a religious angle because it's the same people again that killed Christ, and their ideology is kind of penetrated every other ideology, and we're still being subverted by it unconsciously or subconsciously.
It's an interesting topic. I don't know. Just because
And
I'm
I don't
so
want to come
ignorant
across
when it
as like
comes to
I'm gonna blame everything on them. Like
no, no,
as I
no.
said earlier,
It's
it's really easy to do, but I'm also of like the crazy optimist, like a rarity that I think the Federal Reserve is being ran by a
yeah.
patriot and America firster, and by raising interest rates, you're actually bankrupting the Rothschilds and all the other motherfuckers that
Okay,
follow
okay.
them.
So you'll have to come on my show and explain this because, like, I don't want to say
I
I
did
have
one with Sam.
objection. Yeah, no. When it comes to the whole Jerome Powell as the savior kind of deal, I'm not convinced. I see the case for optimism, and I've listened to Tom Luongo quite a bit, not a whole ton, but enough to kind of get the general gist. But there's like a lot there, and I mean he's a mile a minute. I mean the dude just fucking goes and goes and goes and goes, and like I can't keep up with it. So like my specialty is more like as of lately religious topics, more like I would say more like the Orthodox Christian worldview. Obviously I'm friends with all the big names in the red pill, so that's been a little bit more of the stuff lately. And then foreign policy, those are kind of like the three things I've been focusing on a lot lately.
Yeah.
And I still do my nutrition stuff every here and there, but like outside of that, it's tough for me to really do a deep dive on anything because like I know I have to set aside like a reasonable amount of time to be well prepared to have that
Yeah.
conversation. And like when it comes to a lot of this stuff, I'm an idiot, dude. I'm the first person to always admit that I'm incredibly ignorant of a great deal of things. That's why I have people on my show to talk about this kind of stuff. Like when it comes to like when you were talking about Jerome Powell and the way that he's kind of looking at stuff, it's not that I'm like entirely ignorant of economics, but like to me, when I hear people talk about like the PayPal mafia or this optimism about Jerome Powell, I am coming from a place of ignorance to a degree, but like it also doesn't make sense to me how like specific more to the PayPal mafia stuff. Like I don't think there's this large cabal of people that are saying we're going to put forward Trump and under the condition he does all this stuff. Like after living through 2020 in Pennsylvania, I'm not convinced that Trump can do anything right. He could probably do a lot less wrong than Biden, but I don't think we're in for anything right now. I'm not saying that you're saying that, but like this, just like I think people put a lot of like their hopes and dreams and like these ideas and these plans, and it's fun, it's sexy, but like sometimes the reality just sucks and it's not as boring, or it's just a lot more boring than we think it is.
No, I'm right there with you. I mean, I don't know. I got like 1 foot in on that side and then 1 foot in on the other, but I think like the other is still somewhat rational because they're not really. Some of them might be doing this because they feel like they're patriots, but then others are just doing it to get rid of the inefficiencies because it's hurting them and their bottom line, and they're trying to stay in the black. And even though that they are rich, they understand the wealth, power, and influence that they've accrued, and they don't actually. They might not be as like terminally online as we are, and so they might not be as black pilled, and they actually have this generational wealth that they want to pass down. And so when their kids inherit their billions, like, well, how are you going to invest that? And how is all this DEI inefficiency bullshit going to hurt you? And so it's just like, weeding out the chaff sort of thing. And I think that Powell has been doing that by, as he raises rates, the banks that are taking the hardest hit are the globalist bullshit ones that shouldn't exist in the first place, because they only exist in an environment where interest rates are zero and money is free. And Jerome Powell was one of the first vocal people when he first got appointed on the board. Not when he was like the head chair, that was under Trump, but it was under Obama. He actually got appointed to the FOMC board. he was one of the first ones, like in some of the like transcripts, I think in like 2012, when he was just critical about the Bernanke doctrine in general. Because when Ben Bernanke was Fed chair, quantitative easing, like QE, as
yeah,
like,
it
the
was
doctrine itself,
right.
the doctrine itself implies and necessitates that interest rates need to be zero for the Fed
Right.
to keep buying assets. And that's not sustainable unless
Okay.
if you plan on an MMT future, a central bank digital currency future,
Right.
a future
And you
where
need
commercial
0%.
banking does not exist. And the reason why the commercial banks are not on that side is because, well, like I said, the commercial banks won't exist. Like, not some of the commercial banks, like the shitty ones, like Wells Fargo and BOFA, that have like the worst reputations of like draining people's accounts to make their books look better, or to, fudge the amount of accounts that are opened, but no one's actually behind them to help their bankers like get more like bonuses or whatever. Practices that make it so people that work at like JP Morgan Chase can't actually pay certain like lower bankers extra like commission or incentives because of the poor practices that are demonstrated by banks that were like the rotten apples that spoil the rest of the bunch. Like, these other shitty banks that are in the way, there are, as Tom says, there are like Davos banks, and then there are just like or Davos / Globalist banks, and then you have banks like JP Morgan and others. I don't know like all the like great banks who's good and who's not. But what we do know is that JP Morgan was and still is arguably the default Federal Reserve, because before the Fed, JP Morgan pulled his banker guys in literally like a cigar filled room and figured out whose capital was going to move where to bail out the stock market. And so I still think that you have that I don't want to really call it ideological factor, but that business acumen pledge to, this is the creation of private capital, and this is how we're going to move it to protect America, and also if America falls and the rest of the world falls. But you're not going to have those, again, it sounds cliche, but those America First banks cucking themselves and bending over to some globalists in Europe. And, that implies the Rothschilds and the rest of them, because someone like Larry Fink, who is just an asset manager that isn't really as big and scary as people actually think. I mean, profit wise, like comparison to like the other banks that exist, all they do is they just have like control of assets on their books, but they're not actually like their assets. They're just managing them. And so you have somebody like Larry Fink, who's actually, in a sense, like a paper tiger, going after Jerome Powell's job, and arguably, I guess, Jamie Dimon's job too, during COVID when they passed the CARES Act, and going after their jobs in the sense where BlackRock was given the same like privilege as these primary dealer banks when they get first dibs on like when they issue treasuries. For BlackRock to get that same privilege and to basically get like access, like first dibs access to the discount window to like go borrow from the Fed, that was a big fuck you to the other people on Wall Street. And Larry Fink made a lot of enemies. I am basically stealing words from Danielle DiMartino Booth. She goes on the CNBC and like macro, like mainstream news circuits, but she also does a lot of podcasts. She's been on Tom's podcast. But this is basically like what she has said. She was a Fed insider. She worked at the Dallas Fed, also colloquially known as the free market Fed. But she worked at the Dallas Fed for 9 years. And she was the only one there that didn't have a PhD, because they're still like snobs that way. Because, of course, as you are working at the Fed. Powell, by the way, I don't believe has a PhD. He is a lawyer, but he doesn't have a PhD. He comes from private equity. So, yes, private equity Powell. But you also need to figure in that he's not answering the phone when, again, stealing from Danielle, but he's not answering the phone when his private equity buddies are bitching about rates being too high. Like, he is actually trying to cause a controlled demolition of getting rid of all the bullshit zombie capital and creating somewhat of like price discovery for the first time. And there were some other things that he did under like the economic hood to enable him to do this, but it wasn't just going to happen like that overnight. This has been like a years long process, and the markets are only now taking him seriously. Because like a year ago, did you imagine that the Fed would raise rates to 5.5%? Like people on Zero Hedge and Mises and all these libertarians were bitching, saying that the economy would explode if we raised 1%. And look where we are now. Like,
No,
yeah,
I mean, I
did we
don't
hurt a lot of people?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what people were they? They were the bullshit Davos globalist banks like Silicon Valley Bank, like Silvergate, like FTX. I mean, I wrote like a Twitter thread, half inspired by what Tom was kind of digging up, but putting things together, and also kind of like when FTX blew up, kind of like articles and interviews that I saw. I think that was a hit job on the Federal Reserve on election night during the midterms, saying that this is just offshore money, which was like a British / like Jewish project. That's what the Marshall Plan was. It was loans being issued outside of the United States, out of the beyond the jurisdiction of the Federal Reserve, money printing beyond the Fed's power, which by the way, the Fed doesn't print money. That's the Treasury people. The Fed prints reserves. That's a little bit different, but this is money printing beyond the US's power. And it was to rebuild Europe after we decimated it. Except that was all well and good until you just had all this like offshore bullshit that you can go Google. And it was basically the thing that tipped the dominoes over to cause the 2008 collapse. Like, yeah, we had low interest rates and that created the housing bubble and the subprime meltdown. But when you had all this global capital that was just printed willy-nilly outside of the Fed's control, and when you also had people collateralizing things like David Bowie song royalties as an asset and like building loans off of that, you just had all this free floating money, unregulated, and that mixed with low interest rates is what blows up an economy. So what Powell's doing is he's raising rates to destroy this offshore dollar market, the euro dollar market as it is. And you have these other banks in the United States that I'll air quote with banks. They're really like neobanks, that just had, knew somebody who knew somebody that was able to get them like a bank charter essentially. And you had all these like freewheeling like, kind of private equity guys that were kind of behind this too. Basically all these people that were kind of operating in this wild west of capital creation under zero interest rate policy. Powell's basically raising rates to bankrupt that and to create some economic soundness, a price discovery, and everybody's freaking out that there's going to be a regional banking crisis. Like, yeah, but we need to kind of look at who these banks are in reality, who's going down, and who it really hurts. It's not hurting America First banks. It's hurting just, shitty globalist traders, essentially.
Jesus. That was a lot. Okay. Sam, you need to end the stream. So we're gonna put a pin in this. I got like a quarter or a half of that. Are you busy?
How's bankrupting the Jews?
Okay, well we can dive into that a little bit more. Yeah, you're right. He's I don't know what the hell Sam's doing, but I got to get out of here.
Not all Jews are bad. I like the Ramones. I like.
So are you
out there?
Are you good for let's see. I do live shows. Would you be good for next Wednesday at 7 p.m.? You can message me if you need to be. Or
I have to take a look at my calendar. I can definitely do this Wednesday or this Thursday.
Well, I got Dan McAdams coming on this Wednesday, and then I have band practice Thursday night, so I stay a little busy.
Yeah, props to you, man. Like, I mean, you got a full-time gig, right? Like a not music thing.
Oh yeah, no, I'm a mechanic. So I work for Buick GMC Cadillac. I run
Oh.
3 podcasts, although the one I used to do Thursday nights. I obviously don't have time for it now, unfortunately. I do my show 2 days a week, 2 to 3 days a week. I do this Monday nights, and then also play in a band. So yeah,
Look at you, man.
and I work out 4 days a week. So
You're literally living the dream, crushing it. I'm happy for
I
you.
try,
That's,
man.
That's awesome, dude.
Thank you. Yeah, my wife and the 3 dogs in the other room appreciate it. At least I assume they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got what the hell?
Kudos to you that like your bandmates aren't cucked either. Like I live in Austin, and that was like one of the hardest.
No,
I mean,
okay,
that's why
listen.
I'm not in a band.
Yeah.
I'm one of the reasons.
I'll have to tell you all about them. I think you really like the people, and they're awesome. So, all right. Well, I got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
Phil,
I am
will
in the
reach out.
stream.
Phil, I will reach out to you, and if you're available next Wednesday, we could do that.
Yeah.
If not, I have some flexibility next week. We'll just see if we can figure something out.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
I definitely plan to have some fuck trophies here soon.
How many
So,
people are watching live? By the way, can we see that?
It says on my Twitter, where is it? 56 people are watching on my Twitter. So I don't know.
I don't
how many
know
are watching through
accurate
Sam's.
that is, or what a view means, but
Yeah, I don't
Whatever.
really know either. On YouTube, I think it says 5 watching right now. So Twitter, yeah, I don't know how Twitter works. Okay, all right. Well, I'm getting out of here. Sam will end it whether he decides to or not. I don't know why he's streaming on our 5 till midnight channel with him playing Elden Ring of Fire or whatever the hell he's playing. So,
gay.
all right. Yeah. Well, Phil, it was good to meet you, brother. We'll
Yeah, you
definitely
too,
hook
Kyle.
up soon. All right.
See it.